As an England football fan, there's been no shortage of heartbreak over the years. The countless penalty losses, the Wally with the brolly, and that Iceland game in 2016. But in the mid-2000s, during our proclaimed golden generation, just how good was the team then? And realistically, could we ever have actually won a trophy? Let's get into Football Manager 2006 to find out. In goal, David James. Definitely amongst the weaker positions we had back then. You don't earn the nickname Calamity James without reason. On FM though, he looks very good. In my opinion, a little bit overrated. Ahead of him in the team, we had 4 elite defenders. At right back, Gary Neville. He won basically everything you could win at club level, but for England, I don't think he was quite the same player. On the positive side though, at least we got the very memorable chant, "If the Nevilles can play for England, so can I." One of the players who I think in his absolute prime was undisputedly the best player in his position in the entire world. On FM, I think he's quite underrated here, particularly in those technical attributes. In the centre of defence, it has to be Terry and Ferdinand. Terry here at the age of 24 is approaching his best. Without saying it ad nauseum though, another who just didn't replicate his club form for England. Ferdinand alongside him, arguably one of the best centre-back partnerships on paper in international football. I'm slightly surprised with the passing 12 attribute. I always thought he was quite composed on the ball and had decent distribution. Next up is David Beckham. I don't think it would be possible to look back on this era for England without the wide man. In my opinion, what he did in 1998 was quite moronic. I personally think that was our best chance to win a trophy really during this period, and maybe we could have beaten Argentina 11v11. The most obvious weakness of mid-noughties England was definitely the lack of a natural left winger. Gerrard and Scholes were patched out there trying to offer something on that side of the field, but that largely wasted their talents and unbalanced the rest of the team. For the 2006 World Cup though, Joe Cole was put out there. I think he was another good player, but for England, aside from that incredible World Cup goal against Sweden, he really didn't do that much. Lampard and Gerrard can't play together, or at least that's what every British newspaper would say after we lost another game. At 25 here though, Gerrard is at the peak of his powers. Likewise, Lampard in his late 20s is looking good too. The first of our strikers, 25-year-old Michael Owen. His career was a bit unfortunate with injuries. Without those, I would say he'd probably have been England's top goal scorer right now in history. Definitely one of the few players to take credit from this era though, as he scored in a number of knockout games for England, including quarter-finals to Argentina and Brazil. The last of our starting 11, and it has to be Wayne Rooney. Despite his relative youth here, he was already an integral part of the England squad. Another though, who aside from Euro 2004, didn't really do it at a major football tournament for England. Similarly to Beckham, I think that idiotic red card against Portugal probably cost us another semi-final place. I'll just go through a couple of the subs who I thought were pretty interesting. Owen Hargreaves. I know he was injured a lot too, but for me, he should have started way more games for England. He would have offered far more natural balance in the team, and if you're a regular starter at Bayern Munich, then you're good enough to play for England. Slightly before his England time really, but Rob Green will always be remembered for fumbling that Clint Dempsey shot. Quite surprised he only has an eccentricity rating of 2. Probably would have been 20 after that World Cup era. The final player we'll see is Kieran Dyer. Honestly, I think he would have been decent if he'd been utilised more on the left wing during this time. He was so rapid, at least the defenders had to be wary of that. So overall for me, I think we did underachieve. I don't think we could have won a trophy. I think 1998 and 2006 we should have reached the semis, and we'd probably have lost there. 2002 though, no chance. That Brazil team was way better than we were. It's a strange era to reflect on really. We probably had better players back then, but in the last 5 years or so, our new team has undisputably done a lot better than them. Who knows what the future has in store for England though? Hopefully something good. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.